Friends. Whenever we talk about the world of movies, there are some names that are not just films. They become an entire era, an entire feeling, and a part of a whole generation's memories. One such name is Top Gun, which, when it released in 1986, didn't just shake Hollywood, but created a storm all across the world. It wasn't just a movie. It was a culture, an iconic movement that inspired the youth to dream bigger, to feel the rush of adrenaline, and to carry an obsession with touching the sky. Tom Cruise, as Pete Maverick Mitchell, convinced audiences that if a person has courage, passion, and faith in themselves, then they can achieve anything, even if it means flying at the highest edge of the skies. The original Top Gun introduced us to the Navy Fighter Weapons School, officially known as the United States Navy Strike Fighter Tactics Instructor Program. This was not just about learning how to fly a machine. It was about experiencing what it really means to walk the thin line between life and death. Maverick was a pilot who flew faster, took risks, and loved breaking rules. But deep inside, he had a heart that never forgot about friendship, love, and honesty. The movie showed us Maverick's journey with his best friend Goose, their triumphs, their losses, and above all, it taught us that a true pilot is not just defined by the skies, but also by the size of their heart. Top Gun left such a strong mark on pop culture that people still remember its dialogues, its songs, and Tom Cruise's magnetic charm. It was more than just a military drama. It was a story that pumped adrenaline into people's veins. Navy recruitment soared. Youngsters started wearing aviator sunglasses and bomber jackets. And most importantly, Tom Cruise's stardom skyrocketed to a whole new level. Then time passed. More than 3 decades went by. Fans kept waiting and wondering, would Maverick ever return? And when Top Gun, Maverick finally released in 2022, it wasn't just a sequel. It was the return of a legend. This film proved that some stories never grow old, some characters never fade, and some dreams stay alive forever. Top Gun. Maverick begins with the same Maverick, stubborn, reckless, and unafraid to break the rules. He's still a part of the Navy, but he never played politics or chased promotions. He continued doing what he loved the most, flying. But times had changed. New technology, drones, and unmanned systems had arrived, slowly replacing human pilots. For Maverick, this became the biggest challenge of his life, because he knew that no matter how advanced technology gets, nothing can replace a human heart and its courage. Maverick is called back for a special mission, but this time, it isn't just about flying. He has to train the next generation of fighter pilots. And here lies the emotional core of the story, because one of those young pilots is Lieutenant Bradley Rooster Bradshaw, the son of Goose, Maverick's best friend, whose tragic death became the biggest guilt of Maverick's life. The tension, anger, love, and unspoken bond between Rooster and Maverick forms the very heart of the film. Top Gun. Maverick was not just an action film. It was a story about human relationships, guilt and redemption, and about inspiring the next generation to carry forward the legacy. When Maverick trains these young pilots, teaching them that real victory doesn't come from the speed of a machine, but from the courage of the heart, the film reaches its most powerful heights. And then comes the high-risk mission, where death lurks at every corner. Where skill alone is not enough. What really matters is passion and spirit. This is where Maverick and Rooster together achieve the impossible. Every moment of the movie carried the essence of the original Top Gun, but this time with even more emotional depth. That's why it became a box office juggernaut, grossing over $1.5 billion worldwide. More than that, it reminded people of the pure magic of watching a film in theater. And now the big question that fans all over the world are asking, what's next in Top Gun 3? Will Maverick's story end here? Or is there still one more flight left? Friends, Top Gun 3 is no longer just a rumor. It's a reality. Work on the story has already begun. Joseph Kosinski is expected to return as director, and Tom Cruise, Miles Teller, and Glenn Powell are all almost confirmed to reprise their roles. But this time, the story isn't going to be just about action or another high-risk mission. The creative team has hinted that this time Maverick will face his greatest enemy yet, and that enemy is none other than time itself, his age, his limitations, and the existential crisis of asking, where does he truly belong? The film is being referred to as One Last Ride, which suggests that it could very well be the final chapter of this iconic franchise. And when something is the last, it often carries the most emotions, the most intensity, and leaves the deepest impact. In Top Gun 3, Maverick's challenges won't just be in the skies. It will be his own fears, his own age, and the choices he must make. This story will show us that true victory isn't just about completing a mission. It's about winning the battle within yourself. Fans are expecting that this time the story will be even more personal, diving deeper into Maverick's bond with Rooster and also with Hangman. And it's likely that we'll see the clash between the Navy and New Age technology play out on an even bigger scale, where the debate of man versus machine reaches its ultimate peak. So friends, now that we've understood that Top Gun 3 could very well be Maverick's last and greatest flight, it's time to dive into the story that will make this film not just a sequel, but an emotional experience. Maverick, the man who spent his entire life flying through the skies, now stands at a point where his greatest battle isn't with an enemy out there. It's with himself. This is the era where the Navy is slowly shifting from human pilots to drones and AI technology, where machines are replacing men. And legends like Maverick, who built history with heart and courage, are now forced to wonder whether they still belong here at all. The story begins right where Top Gun, Maverick, left us. Rooster and Hangman, the new generation of pilots, have already proven themselves. They've accomplished impossible missions and shown the world that Maverick's training and passion are still alive. But this time, the question isn't about another mission. It's about Maverick's very existence. He knows his body and age are no longer what they once were, but his heart is still the same. And that very heart pushes him to climb into the cockpit one final time, to take a flight that will define the true meaning of his life. The real conflict of this film will center around man versus machine. The Navy has already launched a new program where high-tech drones are being developed, faster, more accurate, and deadlier than human pilots. Officials believe human beings are becoming obsolete, that the future of warfare belongs to machines. But Maverick, and those like him, know the truth. No matter how perfect a machine may seem, it can never have the heart, the human touch, or the courage that makes a pilot truly great. And this is where the film's biggest mission begins. A situation arises where global stability is thrown off balance. An enemy nation has advanced its drone program to such a dangerous level that it poses a direct threat to the world. The mission is so high risk that no one dares to attempt it, not because it's only about facing drones, but because it challenges the very idea that human beings no longer matter. The Navy wants this mission to be handled by machines, but Maverick and his team believe only humans can pull it off. And that's the very soul of this story. Rooster and Hangman now stand firmly in their roles. In Rooster, we see glimpses of his father Goose, and his bond with Maverick is no longer built on anger or guilt. It's now grounded in trust and respect. Hangman, on the other hand, is a pilot who, much like Maverick, loves to take risks. But he has learned from Maverick that true victory doesn't belong to the lone wolf. It belongs to the team. Together, Maverick builds a new squad, and when they take to the skies, the roar of jet engines once again shakes the heavens. The climax of the film will be the most emotional moment of all. Maverick realizes this could very well be his last flight. He knows that for him, every second in the cockpit is a brush with death. But at the same time, it's also the ultimate purpose of his life. In this mission, Maverick and his team will once again achieve the impossible. But the real question is, will Maverick survive this time? Or will he sacrifice himself to complete the final mission of his life? Reports surrounding Top Gun 3 suggest that the film's tone will be deeper and more emotional than ever before. This won't just be about the roar of jets or the thrill of speed. It will be about Maverick's heart, about the man who spent his entire life fighting for others, but now has to face the questions of his own soul. As for the director and creative team, Joseph Kosinski, who directed Top Gun Maverick, is almost certain to return. Aaron Kruger, who co-wrote Maverick, is working on the script, and Christopher McQuarrie is also connected to the project. McQuarrie himself has said, "The story is already there," which means Top Gun 3 is not just another sequel, it's a carefully planned finale. When it comes to the cast, Tom Cruise's return is as good as guaranteed. After all, imagining Top Gun 3 without Maverick is impossible. Miles Teller as Rooster and Glenn Powell as Hangman are also expected to return. Jennifer Connelly, who played Penny, is likely to reprise her role as well. giving Maverick's personal life even more depth. Alongside them, we may also see some new faces, bringing fresh energy to the squad. Now the biggest question: when will this film be released? Paramount Pictures hasn't announced an official date yet, but reports suggest the script and pre-production are already in progress. Given that Tom Cruise is currently tied up with several major projects and that a film of this scale takes time to make, it's expected that Top Gun 3 could hit theaters sometime around 2028 or 2029. As for the budget, Top Gun Maverick cost about $170 million and went on to gross over $1.5 billion at the global box office. Top Gun 3 will likely have an even larger budget, possibly crossing $200 million, as it's expected to feature bigger set pieces, advanced technology, and breathtaking visuals. But let's not forget, the heart of this film won't just be its scale. It will be the emotions and the characters that drive it. When it comes to box office expectations, industry experts believe Top Gun 3 could once again break records. The film could easily surpass the $1 billion mark, and if its emotional tone resonates as strongly as it's rumored to, it might even reach $2 billion. But friends, the real success won't be measured in money. The real victory will be in the hearts of the audience. When people sit in theaters to watch Maverick take flight for the last time, when they feel every word, every action, every sacrifice, then they will realize that some stories never end. Top Gun 3 will be one of those stories. The farewell of a legend who, by soaring into the skies, teaches us that the greatest victories are always fought within. So get ready, because in the years to come, we'll once again hear the Top Gun theme. We'll once again feel the thunder of those jets, and we'll once again take to the skies alongside Maverick. This won't just be a film, it will be a farewell that will be remembered forever.